Jimmy Butler has done it again. The Miami Heat just knocked off the #1 seed Milwaukee Bucks in only 5 games. Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat join rare company, as they are now the 6th-8th seed to ever beat a 1 seed in the first round. They joined the 94 Nuggets, the 99 Knicks, the 07 Warriors, the 2011 Grizzlies, and the 2012 76ers. Heading into this series, according to NBA history, the Heat had just a 6.6% chance of advancing to the second round as an 8th seed. And it's all because of this playoff motherfucker right here, Jimmy G Buckets.
Jimmy Butler has done it again. Hit 9, Middleton with Butler driving right into it. Count it, foul! Gets the ball to Jimmy Butler. 44, big one. Butler. Long shot, good!
Jimmy, over the course of a 5-game series, averaged 37.6 points, 6 rebounds, and just shy of 5 assists a game on insane shooting, 60% from the field, 44% from 3, and 71% from the free throw line, equating to a ridiculous 67 true shooting percentage. That's 37.6 points per game on 67 true shooting percentage in the playoffs against the Milwaukee Bucks, who are arguably one of the best defenses in the NBA. Like, come on, man. In Game 4, Jimmy had a monumental 56-point game that would put the Heat up 3-1 in the first place. Jimmy's performance ranked 7th all-time in playoff game score at 48.2, according to StatHead.com. And his 56 points is the 3rd highest point total in playoff NBA history. I think it's safe to say, after some miraculous playoff runs by Jimmy Butler and some crazy performances, it's easy to say that he's one of the better player performers we have really ever seen. When you stack his performance up against NBA history, it really goes to show how crazy it is. There are only 8 other players in NBA history who have averaged 37 points or more in a playoff run. Jordan in '86 in a 3-game series averaged 43.7, which is ridiculous, by the way. Jerry West did it once, Elgin Baylor did it twice in the 60s, and then this year, Jimmy Butler slots in at 5th, 37.6 points per game over 5 games in the first round. Just truly ridiculous stuff. I would say it's likely that Jimmy's averages will go down over the course of his playoff run, but just what he has done in the first round alone is remarkable, especially with what he and Miami both had to overcome. Tyler Hero went down early in the series with a broken hand and won't see the court again this postseason unless Miami makes it all the way to the finals. Oladipo was lost mid-series as well, as he was a solid rotation player for the team. A Miami Heat roster that was already pretty thin as it is, got a lot thinner. Milwaukee had the best record in the NBA with 58 wins, and in my opinion, were the favorite to win the whole thing. Clearly, I was wrong. They seemed fairly deep, had competence, had continuity that a lot of other teams just did not have. They have had so many dominant stretches over the course of the season, while Miami struggled for quite a bit of the season until the final few weeks of the season where they won 4 of their last 5 games. Miami even lost their 7-8 play-in game against the Hawks, where Jimmy struggled quite a bit. How this team played in this series alone in comparison to their regular season is pretty funny. In the regular season, they averaged 109.5 points per game, which would be dead last in the NBA. In this playoff run, they're averaging 124 points per game. That would be first in the playoffs. Their field goal percentage, 46%, which is 26 in the regular season. That goes up to 52% in the playoffs. Also first. You get the theme here, man. They just came to play in the playoffs. The Miami Heat had a lot of players step up when they needed it most. The front court of Bam Adebayo and Kevin Love were massive down the stretch for this Miami squad in Game 5. Both players would foul out dealing with Giannis, but Bam finished with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, all while playing some great defense on the Greek Freak. Kevin Love, a buyout guy who was signed by Miami late into the season, had looked dead in the water and struggled all year with the Cavaliers. The other night in Game 5, he knocked down 5 threes and grabbed 12 rebounds. In Game 4, during Jimmy's monumental performance, the bench stepped up big time for Miami, outscoring Milwaukee's bench 32-16. In Game 3, the bench was also miraculous for Miami. They had 59 bench points in a 20-point blowout. The Miami Heat flat out just came to play, and the Bucks did not. The way the Milwaukee Bucks just absolutely melted down in the end of Game 5 was truly unbelievable. I quite literally could not believe what I was watching. It all started with a 16-point lead at the top of the fourth quarter, and then the Bucks would only make 3 shots in the entirety of the quarter. If it wasn't for a parade to the free throw line, this game would not have been as close, as Bam, Love, and Lowry would all foul out at varying points of the fourth quarter and overtime. What Jimmy and Miami did to overcome the Milwaukee Bucks is truly remarkable. I think it's important to remember, as easy as it is to punch down in Milwaukee right now as their season ended disastrously, we owe Miami a lot of credit too. The Miami Heat will officially be facing off with the New York Knicks, as the Knicks beat the Cavaliers in their series 4-1. The Knicks and the Heat have faced off 3 times in the playoffs, twice in the 90s and once in 2012. Ironically enough, the 99 Knicks were the 8th seed when they knocked off the 1 seed Miami at the time, 3-2. This series should be a lot of fun, as Game 1 will tip off this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern in the Garden.